I am sitting in my empty apartment right now, staring at my phone. The silence around me feels heavy, almost suffocating. Just 3 days ago, this place was filled with her laughter, her voice, her presence. Now there is nothing but the echo of words I cannot forget. She told me I was not good enough. She said she settled for me. She screamed that she could have married someone better. Those words cut deeper than any knife ever could. But here is the thing. I discovered something that changed everything. I found out the truth about what she had been doing behind my back, and that truth gave me the power to take back control of my life. Before I tell you how I discovered the betrayal that shattered my marriage, let me take you back to where it all began. But first, drop a comment below and let me know where you are watching from. Hit that like button and subscribe, because you will not want to miss what happens next. Trust me, this story is about to take a turn you will not see coming. Jessica and I got married 3 years ago. We met 5 years before that through a dating app. I still remember swiping right on her profile thinking she was way out of my league. But somehow, we matched. Our first date was at a small Italian restaurant downtown. She wore a blue dress that made her eyes look like the ocean, and I wore the only suit I owned. We talked for hours that night about everything and nothing at all. She worked in marketing for a big fashion company in the city. Her job was fast-paced and glamorous, filled with events and photo shoots and brand launches. I worked as a software engineer mostly from home. My job was stable, paid well enough, but it was not flashy. It was not the kind of work people asked you about at parties. Our early years together felt perfect in their simplicity. We spent weekends walking through parks, trying new restaurants, cooking together in my tiny kitchen. I would surprise her with flowers when she had a bad day at work. I would book tables at the restaurants she mentioned wanting to try. I listened when she talked about her projects, her frustrations with coworkers, her dreams of moving up in the company. I thought I was being a good partner. I thought I was showing her how much I loved her. Looking back now, I wonder if she ever really appreciated any of it. About 6 months ago, things started to shift. Jessica became busier with work. She had late meetings that stretched past midnight. She attended networking events almost every week. She joined a new project team that demanded more of her time. At first, I was supportive. I told her I understood. I encouraged her to chase her career goals. I even felt proud that she was so dedicated and ambitious. But then I started noticing other changes. She began paying more attention to her appearance. She changed her hairstyle 3 times in 2 months. She bought expensive clothes that I had never seen her wear before. She joined a gym and went every morning before work. She came home energized in a way I had not seen in years. I convinced myself these were good things. My wife was taking care of herself. She was confident. She was thriving. But there were moments that made me uneasy. She would sit on the couch scrolling through her phone, laughing at something on the screen. When I walked closer, she would quickly lock it and put it face down. I asked her once what was so funny. She barely looked up. Just a meme from the work group chat, she said. Her voice was casual, dismissive. I let it go. Our weekends together became rare. She was always tired or had plans with friends I had never met. When I suggested we do something together, she would sigh and say she needed alone time to recharge. I started feeling like a roommate instead of a husband. One night I decided to do something about it. I wanted to reconnect with her. I wanted us to remember why we fell in love. I planned a weekend getaway to a cabin by the lake. It was the same place we had visited during our first year of dating. I booked it weeks in advance. I imagined us sitting by the fireplace talking like we used to, holding hands under the stars. When I told Jessica about the trip, her reaction crushed me. "Lucas, I have a huge project deadline coming up. Can we do this some other time?" Her tone was flat, like I had just asked her to pick up groceries. I nodded and said, "Sure, work comes first. We will go when you are free." But that some other time never came. Every suggestion I made was met with an excuse. She was too busy. She was too stressed. She needed space. I started asking myself if she was falling out of love with me. I wondered if I had done something wrong. One evening, I finally confronted her. Jessica, I feel like we are drifting apart. Is everything okay? She looked up from her phone. Her eyes were distant, like she was looking through me instead of at me. Everything is fine, Lucas. I am just stressed with work. I leaned forward, trying to close the gap between us. Maybe we should spend more time together. I miss you. She let out a long sigh. Lucas, not everyone can work from home in their pajamas all day. Some of us have real pressure. Her words hit me like a slap. I work hard too, Jessica. I just want us to be close like before. She stood up without another word. I am tired. Let us talk about this later. She walked into the bedroom and closed the door. I sat there alone in the living room, feeling more isolated than I had ever felt in my life. That night, lying awake in bed beside her, I realized something. This was not just stress. Something else was happening. In the weeks that followed, I started paying closer attention. Jessica began taking phone calls on the balcony. She would step outside, close the sliding door, and talk in a voice I barely recognized. It was lighter, softer, full of warmth. One afternoon I was in the kitchen when I heard her laugh. It was not the polite chuckle she gave me anymore. It was genuine, bubbly, the kind of laugh I had not heard from her in months. I know, right? He is so funny. The way she said it made my stomach twist. When she came back inside, I asked who she was talking to. Just Sarah from work. She was telling me about her date. Her answer came too fast, too smooth. I remembered Sarah. She was married with 2 kids. Why would she be talking about a date? I did not push it. I just filed it away in the back of my mind. Then I noticed her phone habits changed completely. She set a new passcode. She stopped leaving it on the table when she went to the bathroom. She carried it everywhere, even to get a glass of water. One night I asked her why she changed her password. Someone at work said it is safer to change passwords regularly. It sounded reasonable, but it felt wrong. Everything felt wrong. Then came the company gala. Jessica mentioned it casually one morning while she was getting ready for work. There is a big event Friday night, a formal dinner. Partners are invited too. I felt a flicker of excitement. It had been so long since we had gone somewhere together, dressed up, acted like a real couple. Great, I will wear my suit. It has been a while since we dressed up together. She paused, mascara wand in hand. Actually, Lucas, this is more of a professional networking thing. Most people are bringing clients, not spouses. I frowned. But you said partners are invited. She turned to face me, her expression patient but firm. I meant business partners. Look, I know it sounds weird, but it would be awkward if you came. Trust me. I wanted to argue. I wanted to say that I was her husband and I belonged by her side. But I also did not want to seem controlling or insecure. Okay, if you think that is better. She smiled and kissed my cheek. Thank you for understanding. Friday night, she left the apartment in a stunning black dress I had never seen before. Her makeup was flawless. Her hair fell in perfect waves. She looked like someone heading to a red carpet, not a work dinner. I sat on the couch after she left, feeling hollow. I opened social media to distract myself. I scrolled aimlessly until I saw a post from someone tagged at Jessica's company event. I clicked on it. The photo showed a large ballroom filled with well-dressed people, and there in the center of one picture was Jessica. She stood next to a tall man in an expensive-looking suit. His hair was slicked back with gel. He had the kind of jawline you see in cologne ads. They stood close, too close. His hand rested lightly on the small of her back. Jessica was laughing, her head tilted slightly toward him. She looked radiant. She looked happy. Happier than I had seen her in months. I zoomed in on the photo, my hands shaking. Someone had commented below the picture, "Such a power couple. Your company is lucky to have both of you." I took a screenshot. My chest felt tight. When Jessica came home after midnight, I was still awake. I had been sitting in the dark waiting. How was the event? Fine. Boring, actually. Lots of small talk. She kicked off her heels and started taking off her earrings. I pulled out my phone and showed her the photo. Who is this guy? Her face changed. That is Derek. He is the senior marketing director. Why people in the comments are calling you two a power couple." She laughed, but it sounded forced. "That is ridiculous. People at work joke around like that. Derek is married with kids." "Then why did you not tell me about him before?" "Because there is nothing to tell. Lucas, are you seriously going to act jealous over a work colleague? That is pathetic." The word pathetic echoed in my head. I am exhausted. I am going to bed. She left me sitting there feeling like a fool for even asking. The next few days I could not stop thinking about Derek. I searched his name on LinkedIn. Senior Marketing Director, Ivy League graduate. His profile picture showed a confident man in a sharp suit. His Facebook was filled with family photos, a beautiful wife, 2 young kids, a golden retriever, the picture of success. But when I looked at recent posts from Jessica's company, Derek and Jessica appeared together constantly. Team meetings, presentations, lunches, they were always side by side. I asked myself if I was being paranoid. Maybe this was all innocent. Maybe I was reading too much into things. But deep down, I knew better. Over the following weeks, Jessica became even more distant. She came home later and later. She was irritable and short with me. When I tried to touch her, she pulled away like I had burned her. Every attempt I made to connect was met with a wall. I felt myself shrinking, becoming smaller in my own home. I felt invisible. I needed to do something. I needed to show her I still cared. One Thursday evening, I decided to cook her favorite meal, pasta with garlic bread and a bottle of red wine. I set the table with candles. I wanted to recreate the romance we used to have. I wanted her to remember that we were more than just 2 people living under the same roof. When Jessica walked through the door, she looked at the table and frowned. "What is all this? I thought we could have a nice dinner together, like old times." She set her bag down heavily. "Lucas, I ate at work already. We had a team dinner." My heart sank. "You did not tell me about any team dinner. Do I need to report every single meal to you now?" Her voice was sharp, defensive. "No, but we are married. A heads up would be nice." She spun around to face me, her eyes blazing. "You know what, Lucas? This is exactly the problem." "What problem?" You are always here, always hovering, always trying to make everything special. It is suffocating." I felt the anger rising in my chest. "I am trying to spend time with my wife. How is that suffocating because you do not get it? Some of us want more than this. This mediocre life." The word mediocre hung in the air like poison. Mediocre Jessica. "I work hard. I provide. I love you. What more do you want?" She took a step closer, her face twisted with frustration. "I settled for you, Lucas. I could have married someone better. Someone with ambition. Someone who is actually going somewhere in life." The silence that followed was deafening. I stood there unable to process what I had just heard. My wife, the woman I had devoted 3 years of my life to, had just told me I was not good enough, that I never had been. Jessica seemed to realize she had gone too far. "Lucas, I held up my hand. "Do not. Just do not." She grabbed her keys and purse. "I need to get out of here." The door slammed behind her. I stood in the middle of our dining room, surrounded by cold pasta and melting candles, feeling like my entire world had collapsed. After she left, I sat in the darkness for hours. I replayed every moment of our relationship in my head. Every time I had tried to make her happy, every sacrifice I had made, every time I had swallowed my pride and told myself things would get better. And then I remembered something. Jessica's old laptop. She had stopped using it when her company gave her a new one. It was still in the closet. I knew what I was about to do was wrong. I knew it crossed a line. But after what she had said to me, after months of feeling like I was losing my mind, I needed to know the truth. I pulled the laptop out, opened it, and turned it on. Her old email account was still logged in. I hesitated for a moment, my finger hovering over the trackpad. Then I clicked. At first it was just normal work emails, budget reports, meeting notes, project updates. Then I saw an email thread that made my blood run cold. The subject line read, "Re this weekend." The sender was Derek. I opened it. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely control the mouse. The first email was from 3 months ago. Derek had written, "Last night was incredible. I cannot stop thinking about you." Jessica's response, "Me too. But we have to be careful. Lucas suspects nothing." I felt like I had been punched in the stomach. I scrolled down. There were dozens of emails, plans to meet at hotels, sweet words, promises. Jessica had written Derek, "When are you going to leave your wife? I am tired of pretending with Lucas." Derek's reply, "Soon, baby, I promise. Just need to figure out the financials. Divorce is expensive." The most recent email was from 2 weeks ago. Jessica had written, "I almost told Lucas the truth tonight. He is so pathetic, always trying to make me happy. It is exhausting. I read every single word, every lie, every cruel comment about me." Tears streamed down my face, but somewhere in the middle of the pain something else began to grow. Anger. Cold, clear anger. I took screenshots of everything. I saved them to a cloud folder. Then I started searching for information. I found Amanda Derek's wife on Facebook. She was a kindergarten teacher. Her profile was full of cheerful photos of her kids, her classroom decorations, family trips to the beach. She had no idea. I found Jessica's parents' email addresses in her old contacts. I found her brother Tyler's information too. Then I created an anonymous email account. I drafted a message. I included every screenshot, every piece of evidence. I wrote, "I am not doing this out of revenge. I am doing this because everyone deserves to know the truth before making decisions about who they trust." I listed the recipients: Jessica's parents, Tyler, Amanda, a few close colleagues at Jessica's company. But I did not send it yet. I wanted to wait for the perfect moment. A week later, Jessica came home with an expression I had not seen before. It was almost apologetic, but not quite. "Lucas, I think we need to talk about separation." I looked at her calmly. "Okay, tell me why." "We are not compatible anymore. I have changed. I want different things." "Is there someone else?" she answered without missing a beat. "No, this is about us. You and me. We are just not right for each other." I nodded slowly. "I see." She seemed surprised I was not fighting her. "So, you agree? If that is what you want, Jessica, I will move out this weekend. I have already found a place." "Sure. Take your time to pack." That night after Jessica went to bed, I opened my laptop. I checked the email one more time. I read through every attachment. Then I took a deep breath and clicked send. The email went out to everyone on my list. I felt a strange sense of peace wash over me. I had done what I needed to do. The next morning, my phone started ringing before the sun came up. It was Jessica's mother. Her voice was shaking with shock and anger. "Lucas, what is this? What are you talking about?" I sent calmly. "I sent you proof of what Jessica has been doing. If you need more evidence, I can provide it." There was a long pause. Then she hung up. An hour later, Tyler called. "Lucas, man, I am so sorry. I had no idea. She has always been spoiled, but I never thought she would do this to you." His voice was thick with emotion. "I appreciate you calling Tyler. He promised he would talk to his sister, that he would make sure my side of the story was heard." Then Amanda called. Her voice was barely audible through her sobs. "Thank you for telling me. I have been blind." I felt terrible for her. "Amanda, I am sorry you had to find out this way, but you deserve to know." She thanked me again and hung up. Jessica did not come home that night, or the next. 2 days later, she finally showed up to pack her things. Her eyes were red and swollen. She moved through the apartment like a ghost, throwing clothes into suitcases without looking at me. When she was almost done, she stopped in the doorway. "You destroyed my life." I met her gaze without flinching. "No, Jessica, you destroyed it yourself. I just made sure people knew the truth." She opened her mouth like she wanted to say something else, but nothing came out. She turned and walked out the door. I never saw her again. The first few weeks after she left were brutal. The apartment felt too big, too quiet. I would wake up in the middle of the night and reach for her out of habit, only to remember she was gone. But slowly, I started to rebuild. I threw myself into work. I took on challenging projects that pushed me to grow. I reconnected with old friends I had neglected during my marriage. On weekends, I started hiking with a group from college. I realized how much of myself I had lost trying to keep Jessica happy. I had stopped doing the things I loved. I had stopped being me. I joined a cooking class and learned to make dishes I had always wanted to try. I met new people. I laughed again. Real laughs, not the hollow ones I had gotten used to. One afternoon, Tyler texted me. Derek's wife filed for divorce. Jessica lost her job because of the scandal. She is blaming you. I stared at the message for a long time. I expected to feel satisfaction, maybe even joy. But I felt nothing, just emptiness. I texted back, I hope she finds peace someday. And I meant it, not because I forgave her, but because holding on to anger would only hurt me. 6 months after everything fell apart, I found myself sitting on the balcony of my new apartment. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. I thought about the journey I had been through. Jessica taught me something painful but valuable. You cannot make someone love you. You cannot force someone to see your worth if they have already decided you are not enough. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is walk away. I did not regret exposing the truth. I did not do it for revenge. I did it because I deserved freedom, because Amanda deserved to know, because Jessica's family deserved to see who she really was. My phone buzzed. It was a text from a woman I had met at my cooking class. Her name was Claire. "Hey, are you free this weekend? I found this great hiking trail." I smiled and started typing a response. Life was moving forward, and this time I was moving with it on my own terms. Sometimes the person who breaks your heart teaches you the most important lesson, that you were always enough even when they made you feel like you were not. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to choose between staying silent or exposing the truth? What would you have done in my place? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if this story resonated with you, hit that like button.